Mediterranean eating first became of interest to researchers in the 1950s when certain populations in the Mediterranean Sea basin were observed to be in better overall health with lower rates of cardiovascular and metabolic diseases and greater longevity than wealthier nations of the Western world. Thus, eating the Mediterranean way refers to the traditional food cultures of the countries that surround the Mediterranean Sea, including Greece, Italy, Spain, France, Portugal, Malta, Cyprus, Morocco, Egypt, and Lebanon. It has specific regional features, a climate of hot, dry summers and humid, cool winters, and a generally hilly landscape. This way of eating isn't restrictive like many fad diets. Rather, it emphasizes eating nutrient dense foods without counting calories or completely omitting any food type. Moreover, Mediterranean eating encompasses more than just food. For this reason, it is often described as a way of life. Traditionally, people living in the Mediterranean regions have emphasized physical activity, social gatherings, and relaxation, and a moderate consumption of wine with meals. The Mediterranean way of eating has been studied extensively for its ability to promote heart health. In fact, research shows that Mediterranean eating may even be linked to a lower risk of blood pressure problems, heart disease, and stroke. One study compared the effects of the Mediterranean diet and a low fat diet and reported that the Mediterranean diet was more effective at slowing the progression of plaque buildup in the arteries, which is a major risk factor for heart disease. The primary prevention of cardiovascular disease with a Mediterranean diet, or PREDIMED, study is one of the most well-known studies to examine the effects of the Mediterranean diet on health. This study was published in the New England Journal of Medicine after tracking more than 7,000 Spanish participants over the age of 55 with no cardiovascular disease, but with a history of health risk factors. The subjects were randomly assigned to one of three groups: two intervention groups and one control group. The intervention groups followed a Mediterranean diet, one of which was provided with free olive oil. The other group was provided with free mixed nuts, walnuts, almonds, and hazelnuts. The control group was not given any supplemental foods. Instead, this group was advised to reduce their fat intake. Diets for all three groups were not calorie controlled. Over the course of the 5-year study period, the Mediterranean diet groups had a 30% lower risk of major cardiovascular events compared with the control group. While the results of the PREDIMED study have been debated, the findings align with decades of observational and intervention-based research, showing health benefits from eating a Mediterranean diet. For example, the Lion Diet Heart Study, a randomized control trial, examined the effect of the Mediterranean diet versus a Western-style diet in men who had recently had a heart attack. After 4 years, those who followed the Mediterranean diet were 72% less likely to have experienced another heart attack or die from heart disease. Beneficial relationships have been documented between eating the Mediterranean way and reduced risk of certain types of cancers, likely due to the high concentrations of antioxidants and anti-inflammatory nutrients in this style of eating. Regular intake of foods that are commonly included in Mediterranean eating, such as fruits and vegetables, fish, olive oil, and whole grains, are associated with reduced risks of cancers, including breast, ovarian, urinary tract, gastrointestinal tract cancers, and more. Eating the Mediterranean way may help stabilize blood sugar levels and protect against type 2 diabetes. Interestingly, multiple studies have found that Mediterranean eating can reduce fasting blood sugar levels and improve levels of hemoglobin A1C, a marker used to measure long-term blood sugar control. Mediterranean eating has been shown to decrease insulin resistance, a condition that impairs the body's ability to use insulin to regulate blood sugar levels effectively. Results from multiple studies have shown a decreased risk of developing diabetes in healthy individuals and those who eat the Mediterranean way. However, not all research supports this association. Some evidence supports that eating the Mediterranean way may help manage glucose and insulin levels or reduce glycated hemoglobin. Eating the Mediterranean way is associated with cognitive benefits, and evidence suggests it may help protect against cognitive decline and dementia. In 2016, researchers conducted a systematic review of 5 randomized clinical trials and 27 observational studies to investigate the impacts of eating the Mediterranean way on cognitive outcomes. Results of this review indicated that this dietary pattern was associated with improved cognitive function, a decreased risk of cognitive impairment, or decreased risk of dementia or Alzheimer's disease. There's a solid body of evidence that supports a range of positive health effects associated with adopting the Mediterranean way of eating, specifically on beneficial outcomes in heart health, type 2 diabetes, reduced risk of certain types of cancer, improved cognitive function, and more. However, it is important to note that most of the research conducted on eating the Mediterranean way has been among people who lived in the Mediterranean or European countries, or white populations living in the U.S. More research is needed to determine if similar beneficial effects from eating this way would be observed in racially diverse populations. It is difficult to define which foods belong to the Mediterranean way of eating, partly because there's variation between countries. Overall, however, the diet is high in healthy plant foods, low in animal products and meat, and includes fish and seafood at least 2 times a week. You can include a mix of fresh, frozen, dried, and canned fruits and vegetables, but check package labels for added sugar and sodium. This table offers some general guidelines for Mediterranean eating. Focus on vegetables, fruits, nuts, seeds, legumes, potatoes, whole grains, herbs, spices, fish, seafood, and extra virgin olive oil. Low to moderate amounts of poultry, eggs, cheese, yogurt, and red wine. Limit or avoid red meat, sugar-sweetened beverages, added sugar, processed meat, refined grains, other high-processed foods, beers, and liquors. Mediterranean eating encourages people to eat more fruits, vegetables, whole grains, legumes, nuts and seeds, and heart-healthy fats. Mediterranean eating encourages people to eat less processed foods, added sugars, and refined grains. For most meals, you'll eat vegetables, fruits, whole grains such as bread, pasta, and rice, and extra virgin olive oil. Most days, you'll eat nuts, seeds, dairy, preferably low fat, herbs, and spices. Every week, you may eat poultry, seafood, fish, eggs, potatoes, and legumes. It is recommended that you eat seafood at least twice a week. Olive oil is part of the traditional Mediterranean way of eating because many olive trees grow in the area. Olive oil is very high in monounsaturated fats and contains a modest amount of vitamins E and K. Extra virgin olive oil is also loaded with antioxidants, which may have powerful health benefits. One of the monounsaturated fatty acids in the olive oil is oleic acid, which can help fight inflammation and may be the main reason for olive oil's health benefits. Additionally, olive oil contains polyphenols, which are antioxidants that may help protect the body from inflammation, hypertension, and even cancer. Research from Spain found that sautéing vegetables in a little olive oil is preferable to boiling them. Scientists who cooked a variety of vegetables by different methods and then measured the vegetables' antioxidants and phenols found that the presence of extra virgin olive oil in cooking increased the phenolic level. Interestingly, adding olive oil to the water when boiling didn't offer the same benefits as frying or sauteing in extra virgin olive oil. Eating olive oil has many health benefits. Specifically, extra virgin olive oil protects against heart disease via numerous mechanisms. It reduces inflammation, which is a key driver of heart disease. It prevents oxidation of LDL or bad cholesterol, which is an important risk factor in the development of heart disease. It improves blood vessel health by improving the function of the endothelium. It helps prevent blood clotting, which could contribute to heart attack and stroke. It lowers blood pressure, which may aid in the prevention of heart disease. Given the multitude of heart-promoting properties associated with olive oil, it's not surprising that many studies show that increasing consumption may even be linked to lower risk of heart disease and stroke. Olive oil and cancer. Studies have shown that people living in Mediterranean countries have a fairly low risk of cancer, which may be partly due to their consumption of anti-inflammatory ingredients, including olive oil. One potential contributor to cancer is oxidative damage due to harmful molecules called free radicals. However, extra virgin olive oil is high in antioxidants that reduce oxidative damage. Oleic acid is also resistant to oxidation and has been shown to slow the growth and spread of cancer cells in some test tube studies. According to a 2011 review, regular consumption of olive oil may also be associated with a lower risk of developing breast cancer or cancer of the digestive system. Still, more research is needed to understand the effects of olive oil on cancer when enjoyed as part of a healthy, well-rounded diet. Olive oil and Alzheimer's disease. Alzheimer's disease is the world's most common neurodegenerative disease and a leading cause of dementia. One feature of Alzheimer's disease is a buildup of proteins known as beta-amyloid plaques in certain neurons in the brain. Animal studies have found that extra virgin olive oil and some of the compounds it contains could help preserve brain function by preventing the buildup of these proteins. Additionally, some studies show that following the Mediterranean diet, which is typically rich in olive oil, may also be associated with a reduced risk of dementia and cognitive impairment. How olive oil is made. First, there's harvesting. Olives are picked throughout the harvesting season, which is August through December, with green olives harvested early in the season and darker, more mature olives harvested later in the year. Step 2 is processing. Once harvested, olives are separated from leaves and branches. They are washed and crushed by granite millstones or stainless steel hammer mills. Third is malaxation. After the olives and pits have been crushed and milled into a thick paste, water is added and the mixture is churned slowly to allow the small oil droplets to combine into larger drops. Fourth is pressing. When the olive pulp and water are sufficiently stirred, the mixture is pressed in a mechanical oil press or spun in a centrifuge. Both methods result in the separation of the olive oil from the water and the pulp. Fifth is refining. The highest quality olive oil produced from green olives harvested at their peak ripeness does not undergo refining. This unrefined product is classified as virgin or extra virgin olive oil. Lower quality oil is refined using heat or chemicals. This process masks the less desirable flavor and delivers an end product commonly referred to as light or pure olive oil. Last, bottling. As soon as it is extracted, olive oil is quickly stored in stainless steel containers and poured directly into bottles or packages designed to protect the oil from the harmful effects of heat, oxygen, and light. The types of olive oil. Extra virgin olive oil is the gold standard of olive oils. It is produced using cold-pressed methods, which is below 82 degrees Fahrenheit, and without chemicals. According to the International Olive Council standards, This olive oil has no more than 0.8% acidity. It also must be free of defects, which will give you the best flavors and aromas. Virgin olive oil is also produced at the first press. The flavors and aromas tend to be weaker than extra virgin olive oil. The acidity level of virgin olive oil is 1.5%. Refined olive oil takes the virgin and extra virgin olive oil that is not fit for consumption and applies heat and chemicals to further refine it. Refined olive oil is usually used in conserved goods like fish and other products canned in oil. Light olive oil. On the supermarket shelves, you'll see light or extra light olive oil. This doesn't mean that it has less fat. It's lighter in color and flavor because it's actually refined olive oil. It may be used for frying or cooking, but you're really not getting the full benefits of extra virgin olive oil. You're also not getting the full flavor. Light olive oil is a way for producers to sell lower quality of olive oils. It's actually nothing more than a slick marketing tactic. Shopping for olive oil can be daunting, but knowing a few tips can improve your shopping experience and help you get a quality olive oil. The first thing to consider is the type of olive oil. As we've already learned, we want to stay away from light and extra light olive oils and stick with extra virgin olive oil. The place of production. Olives are grown all over the world, with a large percentage grown in Europe and the Mediterranean. These olives are then sent to oil makers who are located around the world. The longer olives are in transport, the lesser quality the oil will be. You want olive oil that was harvested and produced in the same region. The same country is better and the same farm is best if you happen to be in an area known for harvesting olives and producing olive oil. Of course, a single source producer will cost more, so if you're trying to balance budgets with quality, at least get the olive oil that has been sourced from the same country. Be leery of oils that make no mention of where it comes from or those that just say product of. Technically speaking, if oils or olives pass through one country on its way to another, it can claim this title. Just because it has an Italian flag doesn't mean it's really from Italy. Bottle color. Olive oil that is exposed to light decreases the shelf life of the oil. By its very nature, olive oil can go bad fast. You want to purchase olive oils that are packaged in containers, which are tins or tinted or dark bottles, that protect the oil from light and heat. Drinks to include when eating the Mediterranean way are water. Coffee and tea are also suitable, but with limited sugar or cream. Red wine, fresh fruit juices without added sugar. Drinks to limit include beer and liquor, sugar-sweetened beverages such as sodas, which are high in added sugar, fruit juices with added sugar. Wine has been a part of the Mediterranean culture for centuries. For the best health benefits, drink only small to moderate amounts of red wine, only alongside a meal and not every day. Moderation is 1 drink a day for women and 2 drinks a day for men. 1 drink is 5 ounces of wine. While alcohol may reduce the risk of heart disease, it has other health risks. Take this into consideration when making decisions about alcohol consumption. Wine has polyphenols, which are antioxidants. There are hundreds of types of polyphenols that occur naturally in plants, including grapes. Polyphenols are in both red and white wines, but red wines have more polyphenols than white wines. It has to do with how wine is produced. White wines are produced by pressing the juice from the grape, which is then fermented. Red wines are produced by crushing the grapes, but the juice and the grape skins are fermented together. That's how red wine becomes red. The bulk of the polyphenols are in the skins of the grape, which gets transferred into red wine. In some studies, drinking Concord grape juice resulted in a similar or slightly better effect on heart disease risk factors than red wine. Foods to limit when eating the Mediterranean way include Added sugars. Added sugar is found in many foods. It is especially high in soda, candies, ice cream, table sugar, syrup, and baked goods. Refined grains, which include white bread, white pasta, white tortillas, chips made from white flour, or crackers made from white flour. Trans fat. This is found in margarine, fried foods, and other processed foods. Processed meats include sausages, hot dogs, deli meats, beef jerky, bacon. Highly processed foods, which include fast foods, convenience meals, microwave popcorn, and maybe even granola bars. Here's an example of a day's menu when eating the Mediterranean way. For breakfast, you could have Greek yogurt with strawberries, blueberries, and granola. For lunch, you could have a whole grain sandwich with cheese and fresh vegetables. And for dinner, grilled chicken with vegetables, sweet potato fries, and fresh fruit. There are other aspects of a Mediterranean lifestyle that may benefit a person's health. Flavoring foods with herbs and spices rather than salt. Sharing meals with others without the distraction from screens and other devices. Socializing often with others. Regular, moderate physical activity. Regular relaxation and being close to nature.